Sunday, 14 June 1942. On Friday, June 12th, I woke up at 6 o'clock, and no wonder, it was my birthday. But of course I was not allowed to get up at that hour, so I had to control my curiosity until 6:45. Then I could bear it no longer, and went to the dining room where I received a warm welcome from Margie the cat. Soon after 7, I went to Mummy and Daddy, and then to the sitting room to undo my presents. The first to greet me was you, possibly the nicest of all. Then on the table there were a bunch of roses, a plant, and some peonies, and more arrived during the day. I got masses of things for Mummy and Daddy, and was thoroughly spoiled by various friends. Among other things I was given, camera obscura, a party game, lots of sweets, chocolates, a puzzle, a brooch, Tales and Legends of the Netherlands by Joseph Cohen, Daisy's Mountain Holiday, a terrific book, and some money. Now I can buy the myths of Greece and Rome. Grand. Then Lice called for me, and we went to school. During recess I treated everyone to sweet biscuits, and then we had to go back to our lessons. Now I must stop. Bye-bye. We're going to be great pals. Monday, June 15th, 1942. I had my birthday party on Sunday afternoon. We showed a film, The Lighthouse Keeper with Rin Tin Tin, which my school friends thoroughly enjoyed. We had a lovely time. There were lots of girls and boys. Mummy always wants to know whom I'm going to marry. Little does she guess that it's Peter Wessel. One day I managed, without blushing or flickering an eyelid, to get an idea right out of her mind. For years, Lies Guzens and Sane Hootman have been my best friends. Since then, I've got to know Jopi de Waal at the Jewish secondary school. We are together a lot, and she is now my best friend. Lies is more friendly with another girl. Sane goes to a different school where she has made new friends. Saturday, June 20th, 1942. I haven't written for a few days because I wanted first of all to think about my diary. It's an odd idea for someone like me to keep a diary, not only because I have never done so before, but because it seems to me that neither I, nor for that matter anyone else, will be interested in the embossings of a 13-year-old schoolgirl. Still, what does that matter? I want to write, but more than that, I want to bring all kinds of things that lie buried deep in my heart. There's a saying that paper is more patient than man. It came back to me on one of my slightly melancholy days, when I sat chin in hand, feeling too bored and limp even to make up my mind whether to go out or stay at home. Yes, there is no doubt that paper is patient, and as I don't intend to show this cardboard-covered notebook bearing the proud name of diary to anyone unless I find a real friend, boy or girl, probably nobody cares. And now I come to the root of the matter, the reason for my starting a diary. It is that I have no such real friend. Let me put it more clearly, since no one will believe that a girl of 13 feels herself quite alone in the world, nor is it so. I have darling parents and a sister of 16. I know about 30 people whom one might call friends. I have strings of boyfriends, anxious to catch a glimpse of me, and who, failing that, peep at me through the mirrors in class. I have relations, aunts and uncles who are darlings too. A good home. No, I don't seem to lack anything. But it's the same with all my friends, just fun and joking, nothing more. I can never bring myself to talk of anything outside the common round. We don't seem to be able to get any closer. That is the root of the trouble. Perhaps I lack confidence. But anyway, there it is, a stubborn fact, and I don't seem to be able to do anything about it. Hence this diary. In order to enhance in my mind's eye the picture of the friend from whom I have waited so long, I don't want to set down a series of bald facts in a diary like most people do, but I want this diary itself to be my friend, and I shall call my friend Kitty. No one will grasp what I'm talking about if I begin my letters with "To Kitty," just out of the blue, so albeit unwillingly, I will start by sketching in brief the story of my life. My father was 36 when he married my mother, who was then 25. My sister Margot was born in 1926 in Frankfurt am Main. I followed on June 12, 1929, and as we are Jewish, we emigrated to Holland in 1933 when my father was appointed managing director of Travis NV. This firm is in close relationship with the firm of Cullen and Company in the same building of which my father is a partner. The rest of our family, however, felt the full impact of Hitler's anti-Jewish laws, so life was filled with anxiety. In 1938, after the pogroms with my two uncles, my mother's brothers, escaped to the USA, my old grandmother came to us. She was 73. After May 1940, good times rapidly fled. First the war, then the capitulation, followed by the arrival of the Germans, which is when the sufferings of us Jews really began. Anti-Jewish decrees followed each other in quick succession. Jews must wear a yellow star. Jews must hand in their bicycles. Jews are banned from trams and are forbidden to drive. Jews are only allowed to do their shopping between 3 and 5 o'clock, and then only in shops which bear the placard Jewish shop. Jews must be indoors by 8 o'clock and cannot even sit in their own gardens after that hour. Jews are forbidden to visit theaters, cinemas, and other places of entertainment. Jews may not take part in public sports. Swimming baths, tennis courts, hockey fields, and other sports grounds are all prohibited to them. Jews may not visit Christians. Jews must go to Jewish schools, and many more restrictions of a similar kind. So we cannot do this, and we were forbidden to do that, but life went on in spite of it all. Jovi used to say to me, "You're scared to do anything because it may be forbidden." Our freedom was strictly limited, yet things were still bearable. Granny died in January 1942. No one will ever know how much she is present in my thoughts and how much I love her still. In 1934, I went to school at the Montessori kindergarten and continued there. It was at the end of the school year I was in Form 6B when I had to say goodbye to Mrs. K. We both wept. It was very sad. In 1941, I went with my sister Margot to the Jewish secondary school. She into the 4th form and I into the 1st. So far, everything is all right with the 4 of us, and here I come to the present day. Saturday, June 20th, 1942. Dear Kitty, I'll start straight away. It is so peaceful at the moment. Mommy and Daddy are out and Margot has gone to play ping pong with some friends. I've been playing ping pong a lot myself lately. We ping pongers are very partial to an ice cream, especially in summer when one gets warm at the game. So we usually finish up with a visit to the nearest ice cream shop, Delphi or Oasis, where Jews are allowed. We've given up scrounging for extra pocket money. Oasis is usually full, and among our large circle of friends, we always manage to find some kind-hearted gentleman or boyfriend who presents us with more ice cream than we could ever devour in a week. I expect you will be rather surprised at the fact that I should talk of boyfriends at my age. Alas, one simply can't seem to avoid it at our school. As soon as a boy asks if he may bicycle home with me and we get into conversation, 9 out of 10 times I can be sure that he will fall head over heels in love immediately and simply won't allow me out of his sight. After a while it cools down, of course, especially as I take a little notice of ardent looks and pedal blithely on. If it gets so far that they begin about asking father, I swerve slightly on my bicycle, my satchel falls, the young man is bound to get off and hand it to me, by which time I have introduced a new topic of conversation. These are the most innocent types. You get some who blow kisses or try to get hold of your arm, but then they are definitely knocking at the wrong door. I get off my bicycle and refuse to go further in their company, or I pretend to insult them. I pretend to be insulted and tell them in no uncertain terms to clear off. There, the foundation of our friendship is laid till tomorrow. Yours, Anne. Sunday, June 21st, 1942. Dear Kitty, our whole Class B is trembling. The reason is that the teachers' meeting is to be held soon. There is much speculation as to who will move up and who will stay put. Miep de Jong and I are highly amused at Wim and Jock, the 2 boys behind us. They won't have a florin left for the holidays. It will be gone on betting. You'll move up, shall, from morning till night. Even Miep pleads for silence, and my angry outburst don't calm him. Them. According to me, a quarter of the class should stay where they are. There are some absolute cuckoos, but teachers are the greatest freaks on earth, so perhaps they will be freakish in the right way for once. I'm not afraid about my girlfriends and myself. We'll squeeze through somehow, though I'm not too certain about my math. Still, we can but wait patiently. Till then, we cheer each other along. I get along quite well with all my teachers, 9 in all, 7 masters and 2 mistresses. Mr. Kepter, the old math master, was very annoyed with me for a long time because I chatter so much. So I had to write a composition with a chatterbox as the subject. A chatterbox. Whatever could one write? However, deciding I would puzzle that out later, I wrote in my notebook and tried to keep quiet. That evening, when I finished my other homework, my eyes fell on the title in my notebook. I pondered, while chewing the end of my fountain pen, that anyone can scribble some nonsense in large letters with the words well spaced, but the difficulty was to prove beyond doubt the necessity of talking. I thought, and then suddenly, having an idea, filled my 3 allotted sides, and felt completely satisfied. My arguments were that talking is a feminine characteristic, and that I would do my best to keep it under control, but I should never be cured, for my mother talked as much as I, probably more, and what can one do about inherited qualities? Mr. Kepter had to laugh at my arguments, but when I continued to hold forth in the next lesson, another composition followed. This time it was Incurable Chatterbox. I handed this in, and Kepter made no complaints for 2 whole lessons, but in the 3rd lesson it was too much for him again, and, as punishment for talking, we'll do a composition entitled Quack, 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 says Mrs. Natterbeak. Shouts of laughter from the class. I had to laugh too, although I felt that my inventiveness of the subject was exhausted. I had to think of something else, something entirely original. I was in luck, as my friend Sam writes good poetry and offered to help by doing the whole composition in verse. I jumped for joy. Kepter wanted to make a fool of me with this absurd thing. I would get my own book and make him the laughing-stock of the whole class. The poem was finished and was perfect. It was about a mother duck and a father swan who had 3 baby ducklings. The baby ducklings were bitten to death by the father because they chattered too much. But luckily, Kepter saw the joke. He read the poem out loud to the class, with comments, and also to various other classes. Since then, I am allowed to talk, never get extra work. In fact, Kepter always jokes about it. Yours, Anne. Wednesday, June 24th, 1942. Dear Kitty, it is boiling hot. We are positively melting, and in this heat I have to walk everywhere. Now I can fully appreciate how nice a tram is, but that is a forbidden luxury for Jews. Shanks mare is good enough for us. I had to visit the dentist in the Jan Lukenstraat in the lunch hour yesterday. It is a long room for a school, and the Stad Stimmer Tunen. I nearly fell asleep in school that afternoon. Luckily, the dentist's assistant was very kind and gave me a drink. She's a good sort. We are all allowed on the ferry, and that is about all. There was a little boat from the Joseph Israelskade. The man there took us at once when we asked him. It is not the Dutch people's fault that we are having such a miserable time. I do wish I didn't have to go to school, as my bicycle was stolen in the Easter holidays and Daddy has given mummies to a Christian family for safekeeping. But thank goodness the holidays are nearly here. 1 more week and the agony is over. Something amusing happened yesterday. I was passing the bicycle sheds when someone called out to me. I looked around, and there was the nice-looking boy I met on the previous evening at my girlfriend Eva's home. He came shyly towards me and introduced himself as Harry Goldberg. I was rather surprised and wondered what he wanted, but I didn't have to wait long. He asked if I would allow him to accompany me to school. As you're going my way, in any case, I will, I replied, and so we went together. Harry is 16 and can tell all kinds of amusing stories. He was waiting for me again this morning, and I expect he will from now on. Yours, Anne.